Tonight, the deadly tornado outbreak that tore across parts of 3 states. More than a dozen powerful twisters ripping across Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Entire neighborhoods leveled, more than 100 homes destroyed. Terrified residents fleeing for cover.
The whole left side of the house was gone.
Down to the wire, 3 presidents, past and present, campaigning in the same state tonight. Biden, Obama, Trump, all in on Pennsylvania. Raising the stakes, North Korea launches 4 more missiles while the U.S. flies supersonic bombers over the region in a show of force. Fire at a New York City high-rise, dozens injured, and the daring rescue that saved this woman's life. iPhone factory revolt. New video out of China. Workers at the largest iPhone factory in the world breaking free from quarantine. What happens next? And biggest jackpot ever. More than $1.6 billion up for grabs tonight. Why are the jackpots getting bigger and even harder to win?
The lottery associations love it when no one wins for a while.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. Thousands of people across 3 states are picking up the pieces after a deadly tornado outbreak tore through the South overnight. Take a look at this tornado in Texas, just one of the powerful twisters that hit, some with winds as strong as 165 miles an hour. In Oklahoma, you can see from above the extent of the damage, a path of destruction that cuts right through this neighborhood. All told, at least 19 tornadoes swept through those 2 states and Arkansas. Today, residents are realizing the extent of the damage, but thankful to be alive. Priscilla Thompson is in the damaged region and starts us off tonight from Brashear, Texas.
A deadly night in Tornado Alley. Powerful tornadoes tearing through Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas, leaving a trail of destruction.
It looked like a war zone, but hey, we're alive.
Idabel, Oklahoma, where a 90-year-old man was killed, bore the brunt of the devastation. Oklahoma's governor stepping away from the campaign trail just days before the midterms to survey the damage, tonight declaring a state of emergency. The tiny town of 7,000 decimated, homes and businesses along with a church, medical center, and school all gone. Further south in Texas, 1 man killed, others injured.
I've got multiple victims out here.
First responders raced to save people trapped under the wreckage and debris near Dallas.
With facial bleeding and broken ribs.
The tornadoes bringing high winds, heavy rain, and hail.
Oh my God!
In all, 19 twisters were reported across the region. Dekedra Campbell was home with her fiance and daughter when she saw the funnel barreling towards them.
I was trying to keep my daughter calm because she was screaming hysterically, and I just really didn't know what was going to happen.
They emerged to find the house they had spent years renovating and just moved into 2 months ago in pieces. They hadn't yet gotten insurance. Just up the road, John McClain also saw the tornado coming and raced to save his mother and warn his daughter and her young family.
We just blessed. That's all we can say.
Tonight, communities across the South are coming together to help those devastated by disaster as they begin the long road to recovery.
Priscilla joins us now from Brashear, Texas. And Priscilla, one tornado was so strong it actually moved entire houses?
That's right, Jose. You see the front porch of this house just back there, and all the way over here is where the house was moved. The roof completely ripped off and the contents inside strewn across their property. Jose?
Priscilla Thompson in Brashear, Texas. Thank you. And now to the final sprint to the midterms. Just 3 days until Election Day, and each side is pulling out all the stops. As a reminder of the stakes, the Republicans need to gain just 1 Senate seat to gain control of the chamber. We have our correspondents in 3 of the states most fiercely contested: Georgia, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. The polls there show the race almost as close as it gets, a statistical tie within the margin of error. The state is so important, not 1, but 3 presidents are there tonight, as is our Dasha Burns, who starts us off our political coverage from Philadelphia tonight.
Tonight, Presidents Biden and Obama sharing the stage for the first time in this midterm election.
'Cause I don't want to be the one 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 to be
a joint effort to rally voters in Philadelphia, making clear how crucial the Keystone State is to Democrats, essential to maintaining control of the Senate as well as for keeping the White House in 2024. Earlier in the day, Obama stumped in Pittsburgh.
You deserve somebody who stood side by side with you, somebody who will work every day and fight for you, somebody who's actually from Pennsylvania. You deserve somebody like John Fetterman.
The former president trying to tip the scales toward Democrat John Fetterman in his Senate race with Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Hello, Philadelphia!
Born in Pennsylvania, tonight's event is a rare battleground appearance for President Biden, whose approval rating has hovered around 45%.
I know Pennsylvania well, and John Fetterman is Pennsylvania. He is Pennsylvania. And Oz and Pennsylvania?
Not to be outdone, former President Donald Trump is also set to appear in Pennsylvania this evening, campaigning alongside Dr. Oz, who has been casting himself as a moderate in the race.
I will very, very, very probably do it again, okay?
On the campaign trail, Mr. Trump has been hinting at his own political future. Two sources familiar with his thinking telling NBC News he's likely to make another bid for the White House official later this month, though the timing could change.
Dasha Burns joins me live from Philadelphia, where former President Obama is actually speaking right now. Dasha, give us an understanding of the strategy at play here.
Well, Jose, Pennsylvania could very well come down to its largest city, the turnout here, and in its surrounding suburbs. So the goal for Democrats tonight, literally energizing their base and trying to overwhelm the rural counties that lean heavily Republican. Jose?
Dasha Burns in Philadelphia, thank you. And now to Georgia, where the latest poll has Democrat Raphael Warnock with a slim lead over Republican challenger, former football star Herschel Walker. Ellison Barber reports from a Walker campaign rally in Athens, Georgia.
Jose, Athens, Georgia is where Republican Herschel Walker made his name on the football field today. It is where he is making one of his final campaign pushes. Tomorrow, his opponent, incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock, will do the same in his hometown of Savannah, Georgia. Remember, in Georgia, in order for a candidate to avoid a runoff election, they have to receive at least 50% of the vote. And so far, neither candidate has passed that 50% threshold, in part because of a third-party candidate. So we could see this election continue in a December runoff. Jose?
Ellison Barber in Athens, Georgia, thank you. In battleground Nevada, the stakes could not be higher. Polls there have consistently shown the race as a dead heat. Jacob Soboroff is with union workers in Las Vegas.
Jose, if you want to know what the final stretch looks like here in Las Vegas, you're looking at it right now. This is Aaron. That's Elsa. They're with the Culinary Workers Union, the powerful political force here in Las Vegas, stumping on behalf of Democratic causes and candidates. The issue we keep hearing coming up is affordability. It's too expensive to live here in Nevada. That's the issue, of course, Republicans are hoping are going to tip the scales in their favor. But these workers that are out here are doing everything they can, going door to door to make sure that that is not the case. Jose?
Jacob Soboroff in Las Vegas, thank you. And now to breaking news overseas. The U.S. today responded to North Korea's escalation with a show of force of its own, flying some of its most lethal bombers over the peninsula. Ralph Sanchez reports from Seoul.
Tonight, the U.S. sending a message to North Korea in the form of B-1 heavy bombers. The supersonic aircraft deployed to the region for the first time in 5 years, taking part in the final day of a vast U.S.-South Korean military exercise. The bombers are a response to an unprecedented barrage of missile tests by the North. More than 30 weapons fired this week, including 4 more today.
We are absolutely united in the face of these actions.
Kim Jong-un's regime says the real provocations are the U.S.-South Korean military drills. But with those drills now finished, will the North stop its escalation? Or are the missiles just a warm-up ahead of a possible North Korean nuclear weapons test? Kim halted his nuclear testing ahead of his 2018 meetings with Donald Trump, but the U.S. says he's now ready to restart them at any time. The North's most advanced missile, the Hwasong-17, capable in theory of striking with a nuclear warhead anywhere in the United States. America's defense, dozens of interceptor missiles positioned across the West Coast, including these at Fort Greely, Alaska. Tonight in Seoul, hopes that diplomacy might still find a way.
Would you like to see us talking more with North Korea?
Yes, talking more. I hope that the war will not happen.
a hope widely shared, even as tensions soar.
President Biden will be here in the region next week ahead of the G20, and there are concerns Kim Jong-un could use that trip as an opportunity for another provocation. Jose?
Ralph Sanchez in Seoul, thank you. There is a revolt underway at the world's biggest iPhone factory in China. That's where most of the iPhones Americans buy are made. Janice Mackey-Freyer reports from Beijing.
Tonight, chaos at the world's biggest iPhone factory. Video showing an exodus of workers this week from Foxconn, fleeing a COVID clampdown after an outbreak of cases there. One video showing people wearing hazmat suits being taken to quarantine, while others were seen tramping down highways with bags. This worker still at Foxconn telling NBC News they're confined to dormitories when they're not on shift. People are leaving every day, he says. After they left, the situation here got much worse, he says, describing more garbage, less food, and a lot of rumors. Apple did not respond to our request for comment, but with reports that iPhone production could be cut by 30%, Foxconn is giving big bonuses to lure workers back.
For Apple, any slump in production comes at a crucial time, just ahead of the busy year-end holiday season.
The viral scenes of escaping workers show the toll of the government's tough zero-COVID rules that affect nearly every American product made here, from toys to Teslas. And last week, 20,000 people were locked down inside Shanghai Disney over concerns a single COVID case had visited days before. Strict protocols have pushed business sentiment to a record low. A recent survey showing 57% of U.S. companies here are losing confidence in China investment because of zero COVID. With the government sticking to its approach, the 200,000 workers at Foxconn will remain in a sealed-off COVID bubble, while the city where the factory is located is now locking down too. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
Coming up next, who wants to be a billionaire tonight? The reason why Powerball jackpots are getting so big and even harder to win. So in just a few hours, one of you may be the winner of the biggest jackpot in the history of the world, $1.6 billion. But get this, billion-dollar jackpots may become the new normal. Emily Ikeda explains why.
It's Powerball pandemonium.
I'd like a Powerball.
With a jaw-dropping $1.6 billion on the line in tonight's drawing. From Georgia to Missouri to New York,
you got to be in it to win it.
Americans nationwide are lining up to play Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? For $2, tonight players have the chance to claim the largest jackpot in history. Mike Wisham drove across state lines with hopes of winning.
First off, I'd come collect my money and then I'd disappear. I'd hide from everybody for a while.
All but 5 states participate, putting their share of lottery revenue towards things like education, environmental protection, and battling gambling addiction. The majority of the money goes to the winners. And if you feel like you're seeing more billion-dollar lotto prizes, that's because you are. 5 since 2016. Economics professor Victor Matheson says that's by design.
The lottery associations themselves love it when no one wins for a while, because that's what generates the huge jackpots that generate the huge excitement that we're seeing today.
In recent years, the Multi-State Lottery Association increased number combinations, making it harder for players to win and easier for the jackpot to roll over and grow. Tonight's odds, 1 in 292 million. Why still play?
Well, if you don't play, you don't have that chance.
If you do manage to beat the extraordinary odds, don't expect to take home what you see on the sign. The upfront cash option and taxes would leave you with less than a third of that, experts say, roughly $500 million.
I'd be happy with like 1%.
And since I'm here, I guess I have to participate in the pandemonium. I've actually never played the lottery before today, so here's to hoping for beginner's luck. Jose?
Emily Ikeda, thank you very much. Still ahead, some of your favorite food brands are replacing some of their ingredients. What you need to know. Plus a daring rescue from a New York City high-rise fire. We are back with breaking news out of New York City and a terrifying high-rise fire today. At least 38 people were injured. It happened on the 20th floor. And take a look at this. Firefighters rescue one woman trapped by the smoke and flames. They used a rope to lower her to the floor below so she could get out. And we now know the cause. Officials say it was a lithium-ion battery in an electric bicycle. Tonight, there's another side to inflation at the grocery store. Companies trying to save money by switching out high-priced ingredients in your favorite foods. Here's Savannah Sellers with how to spot the changes and what to do about it.
There may be a surprise waiting for you at the grocery store. Some companies are substituting ingredients in their products, often with cheaper ones. It's called skimpflation, and it's stopping shoppers in their tracks.
Yeah, it seems unfair.
It's so hard to stay up to date on exactly what's going into your food.
An anonymous survey of 300 large food and beverage brands showed that nearly 2/3 of them reformulated at least 6 recipes, 90% of them citing higher ingredient prices.
Often water can be added, and we also see basically a shifting to what are less expensive ingredients, from sugar to high fructose corn syrup.
Take a look at these 2 packages of Smart Balance margarine. Look at the front.
They look identical, same weight. Oh, I see it in very fine print.
In the bottom left-hand corner, this one says it's 64% vegetable oil. This one says it's 39% vegetable oil.
And it's leaving customers with a poor taste in their mouths. Some writing how to destroy a great product. New formula is not an improvement and just simply gross. TV dinner favorites, Hungry Man's double chicken bowls, also getting a redo.
The old package said 39 grams of protein. The new package says 33 grams of protein. That's a 15% reduction.
But spotting the changes can be challenging.
Is there less chicken in it? Is there less cheese in it?
Hungry Man's parent company, Conagra, has not responded to NBC's request for comment. Some companies are doing away with ingredients altogether. In 2018, Whole Foods Organic Honey and Nut Morning O's contained real organic almonds. Now, they've completely eliminated them from the cereal product. Whole Foods telling NBC News they reformulate their products for a number of reasons, from new suppliers to availability to feedback on taste or texture. Less than 10% of people actually read ingredient labels, but experts say it's time to take things into your own hands.
You could certainly try to contact the company themselves, and certainly if you let them know that a change was made that they're unhappy with, they take it very seriously.
Case in point, the butter spread backlash. Smart Balance's parent company Conagra is now reversing course, telling NBC News, "We made changes to some Smart Balance products to make them easier to spread. We have heard the feedback from consumers and have decided to return to the previous recipes in the coming months." Because there's only one recipe in business, keeping the customer happy. Savannah Sellers, NBC News, Somerville, Massachusetts.
And when we come back, the amazing way these long-lost photos were found and how they're bringing one family together. There's good news tonight about connecting with the past and the family celebrating a part of their late mother's life that they never knew about until now. A mystery in League City, Texas has finally been solved. It all started last year when contractors discovered this old purse under the floor of a former school.
It was like right here in this area, right here.
Tucked inside were photos, letters, keepsakes, a calendar from 1959, and this clue, the name Beverly Williams, scrawled on a scrap of paper. The city spent months trying to track down its owner. And just weeks ago, after a story on the local news, finally a lead. Richard Lewis helps run the League City Historical Society.
I had an excited young lady calling me, "What do you know about my mother?"
Turns out that purse, lost for more than 60 years, belonged to a teenager named Andrea Williams. She passed away in 2015.
Hi, Richard. How's it going?
Her daughter's now overjoyed to see this side of the woman they miss so much. It's your mom's life when she was 13. How kind of odd, cool, weird was that?
It was surreal, honestly. Yeah. There's some pictures that we never seen before. You never think of your mom being this kid who is going to school dances and going steady with the boy.
Did you learn anything about her that you didn't know?
For me, it's that my mom was so social with her, all kinds of pictures of her friends and stuff in there.
I love this piece.
I think it looks so much like her.
Each item now connecting them to their mom in a whole new way.
I think this one reminds me the most of Mom. It was her sisters all in a row.
This is just the perfect window into a 13-year-old girl's January. I know that something very important happened on the 9th.
I think for me, it's the Valentine's invitation. This is so cute and so personal. It says Valentine's Dance Party, February 14th, 1959, at the Catholic Hall between 7:30 and 10:20.
All three of these pictures have her in it.
A glimpse at the past, igniting a new legacy of love.
What a blessing to get to celebrate her life again. I wish she'd been here to see it. She would have loved this.
And the daughters, Deborah, Rhonda, and Andrea, say ever since this happened, people who knew their mom have been sharing their own wonderful memories they have of her. And the person, everything inside it is on display at the Historical Society there. That's NBC Nightly News for this Saturday. Remember to set your clocks back an hour tonight. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and good night.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.